Hello friends, welcome back. In the previous session, we discussed clearly how artificial intelligence is being the foundation for the cognitive computing. Also, we discussed the contributions of the greatest of the scientists and the way they thought about how artificial intelligence could evolve. We are going to now get into the next topic, which is understanding cognition. Let's understand this deeper. What is cognition? Cognition refers to the mental processes and activities which are involved in acquiring, which means collecting, processing, storing, and using the information. Acquire, process, store, use that later. It encompasses a wide range of mental activities that human and animal engage in to interact with their environment and to make decisions, solve problems, learn, and perform various other connected tasks. So, cognition is all about acquire, analyze, process, and act accordingly. That's all. Now, understanding cognition is super important here. The reason being very simple. In the applications and the fields or sectors like education or healthcare or human computer interaction, all these areas, we have practical applications of cognition. So, we need to understand what exactly is cognition, and without that, moving forward is very difficult. By uncovering the mechanisms underlying the cognitive process, researchers aim to develop insights into how humans think, how they learn, how they perceive the world, and it can ultimately lead to the advancements in the various aspects of human life and technology. So, understanding cognition is very, very important. Now, please understand it is not mandatory to build a system that replicates all the abilities and capabilities of the human brain to serve as good collaborator for human. If you have to collaborate with me, it doesn't mean that you should be able to replicate whatever I have. So this goes very well for the machines as well. You need not build a system that replicates whatever capacity or capabilities that you have. By understanding the cognition, we can build systems that have as many as characteristics possible, which are required to continuously learn and adapt. What we are looking at is we need to build a system that is good enough to collaborate and which can evolve by itself. With cognitive computing, we are bringing in two different disciplines altogether. One is the very well known computer science, and another one is the cognitive science. The cognitive science is nothing but the science of the mind. Computer science is nothing but the scientific and the practical approach to the computation and its applications is called as computer science. It is the systematic technique for translating theory into practice. You are writing programs. What do? They are changing, they are translating theory into practice, and you are using it. So, we have understood two terminologies here. One is nothing but the cognitive science, another one is computer science. Of course, we are all living in the computer science arena and we are working mostly with computer science as well. We are going to dive deeper into cognitive science. The cognitive science has got two branches, two major branches. One is psychology, another one is neurology. Sir, why do you have to learn this? You are going to build a system which has to understand the human and to collaborate with human. So obviously you need to understand the psychology a little bit at least. Psychology is the scientific study of human mind and behavior. It also explores why people think, feel, and act the way they do, and it seeks to understand the underlying processes that actually drives our thoughts, emotions, and corresponding actions. So psychology is very, very important. Neurology, on the other side, in simple terms, is a branch of medicine that deals with the study and treatment of the nervous system, which includes the brain, the spinal cord, and nerves throughout the body. All of them are connected to our process. All of them are connected to cognitive computing. So we must literally understand what is psychology and what is neurology. I hope you understood with the current definition whatever I have given. We all should agree to a fact that there is a connect between the way the human brain works and the computer's work. The cognitive scientists who have worked a lot in this area have gained a lot of vision and idea when they study the human brain, which is then further implemented in their systems that they are building as cognitive system. The understanding that they gain through the study of the human brain helps them to receive, store, process, retrieve, transform, and transmit the information. That's a very important aspect. Where do they learn from? They learn from the human brain, they understand from the human brain, and they go ahead and build the cognitive systems. On the other hand, you should also understand that growth in computers have helped cognitive sciences with better acceleration too. I grow, you grow, you grow, I grow. That's the way things are growing between these two fields. And please understand, I made a very clear presentation here. The basic principle behind the cognitive science is that an intelligent system consists of number of specialized processes and services that interact with each other. This is very fundamental point. We have got number of specialized processes and services in the human brain, for an instance, which are interacting with each other. A sound is taken as a reference. Somebody shouts, for an instance, somebody is shouting right now. The sound is getting transmitted as a signal to the brain. The person who listens to this sound reacts. For example, if I am calling you by name and that signal is getting transmitted to you, and you will turn, your name is the signal that I am sending as the sound. So you respond to that. If it is a cracker sound, which is a huge noise right now, what will you do? You will tend to move away or close your ears. And this is the instruction that you get from the brain. Is this inborn? No, this is not inborn. This is a response to a stimulus. So please understand, different variations are there in cognition depending on the differences in the genetic variations. For an instance, a deaf person could react differently to a sound than the person who has a clear hearing ability. So please understand, the basic principle is fundamental. That is, an intelligent system will consist of number of specialized processes and services that interact with each other, and all the points whatever I conveyed with a simple example of the sound could clarify your doubts in this area. With all this understanding, whatever I have established till now, how different processes in the brain relate to each other and impact each other, cognitive scientists learn to model cognitive structure in the process. They understand, they relate. There is no single cognitive architecture. Remember, there is no single cognitive architecture. Rather, there are many different approaches depending on the interaction model that we choose. This is very important to understand. We do not have single solid cognitive architecture. You've got multiple options available there. And most importantly, humans have a super ability to make speculative understanding. We can go ahead with constructive imaginative scenarios. We can use our intuition. We can also go ahead and process things beyond mere reasoning. We have got ability to go with good inference, and we can also process information. But there is a point really that we need to worry. What is that? The human may have bias that leads to conclusions which could lead to erroneous result. For an instance, I will give you a very simple example. A human may look at one research study that says that some medical benefits to chocolate, and because of the bias we have, we can conclude that eating a lot of chocolates will be a good thing. But it is not correct ideally. In contrast, when you go to cognitive architecture, it will not make the mistake of assuming that one study or one conclusion has an overwhelming relevance unless and until there is actual evidence which can help you in drawing conclusion. Unlike humans, machines do not have bias unless you explicitly program it to have bias. So remember, we may be biased, but machines will not be unless and otherwise you explicitly program it with bias. With this, we conclude this session. In the next session, we will go much deeper and we will understand more things. Thank you.